Most founders read books like The 4 Hour Workweek and Buy Your Time Back and say that they want freedom. But if they disappeared for a week, what would happen? Well, leads would slow down, sales would get messy, clients will start asking for help and you wouldn't be there to help them. And at the end of the day, it's not because freedom is impossible to have, but the truth is that your business wasn't built for this. It wasn't built to run without you. So the important thing is that we need to get to the point where the business can do that. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually build the system that gets your business to run without you, and how to use AI to actually turn it into that way that you can do it even if you really don't have the technical skills, and then how to get your team, your clients, and everyone around you to actually use the system so that you don't just build this amazing thing that just like dies and doesn't get used, but instead you can leverage it to actually allow your business to grow without you always being there. But here's the thing, none of this is going to work unless you solve this one thing. Now, like I said, business obviously depends on your brain to make decisions. So before we really go into anything, the first thing that we need to do is actually understand what needs to be built. So yes, we can go in and build the system, but first we need to know what exactly would that look like and what exactly do we need to do. So we're going to jump into here where I'm going to share my screen. We're going to start mapping things out, and we're going to start mapping out what this would look like for you. So let me go ahead here and share it. And then, cool. So over here, we have you know, here's my horrible stick figure drawing. And, you know, you have your brain. And your brain has all this knowledge and information and things that you've learned over years and years and years and years. But the problem is that now we want to take your brain and put it into a world where it can essentially run without you. And up until this point, the problem is that if you basically turn off, if you step away, your brain disappears, and because of that, your business can't run by itself. And you know, your team and the people around you and your clients and everything, they kind of have an idea because they've learned, like they have like part of it, but you know, they have this, but they don't have this, and they still need that to fully function. So how do we take your brain and turn it into a system that allows it to fully work while you're not there? So that's what we're going to kind of jump into today. And the first thing really comes down to is building your OS, your business's operating system. This is a system that functions on the 4 core areas of business, which is marketing, sales, fulfillment, and operations. And when we have a system that we can basically train and teach marketing, sales, fulfillment, operations, and how our business works because of that, then we can completely step away from the business, because this is the core system that basically runs the entire business. But the problem is, how do we actually do that? Most people are a little like, yeah, that would be great to have a one unified place that runs the entire business. But the problem is that they don't know exactly how to do that. And that's what we're going to jump into, which is how you can use AI to build this. Now, there's a couple different pieces that come into place. So step 1 is basically the brainstorm, which is where we go through and spit out and brainstorm what exactly does each of these areas look like for me. So like I said, we have marketing, sales, fulfillment, and operations. So we have to brainstorm from a high level overview and even very detailed, what exactly does marketing look like in my business? Am I doing YouTube content? Am I doing Instagram content? Am I doing paid ads? Am I going out there and publishing content and having people come to me? Am I manually going out there and reaching out to people? Like, is it inbound marketing, outbound marketing? And we break down all the little details inside of there, because that's how we can actually understand a clear picture of what does everything look like. And a lot of people have never really taken the chance to just take a step back and map out what their business looks like on paper. So they're just running everything from here. So how do you expect the business to be automated and be running without you if the whole business is in here? No, we have to get it on paper, because the end goal is to have it on systems that run by themselves. So we map out exactly what is in marketing. What does your marketing channels, your marketing systems and everything look like, creating the SOPs for all the different areas, so that ultimately we can say, if all of this was automated, if I really trained someone else or a system or an AI or something to do all this stuff for me, then it could be as outsourced as possible. Yes, maybe you're still going to be creating content and stuff like that, but you might not have to edit anymore. You might not have to always be the one that comes up with every single content idea. You might not have to be the one that always publishes it. You might not have to be the one that is looking at the analytics and the stats in order to see what's working and what's not working and stuff like that. And we do that for all the different areas. We go into sales, for example. Like, are we doing sales calls? Are we doing webinars? Are we doing, just regular video sales letters and selling on like a web page or a funnel or something like that? Are we selling through DMs and all these different things? And then what is the system in order to actually transition them? Because the whole point of marketing is, in theory, to get someone to see us and capture their information. Then sales is to turn that person that we have their information into someone that actually gives us money. And then we go into fulfillment, where the whole point is like, this person gave us money, we want to help them get the result and maybe even ascend to higher level offers. And then operations is how we manage the entire thing. So we need to map out what those systems look like. For fulfillment, for example, is how do we onboard clients depending on the different offers that we have? How do we make sure that they get results? And then once we get results with them, how do we gather testimonials? How do we see if they're a good fit for the next level? How do we actually make that offer? How do we ascend them into the next one? Then keep moving in there. And then operations is like hiring, managing, just your general business operations and everything. So we brainstorm exactly what every area of our business looks like. The second part of this is plan. So once we have that clear map brainstorm of what exactly everything looks like, now we have to plan out how exactly would we take this whole entire thing that we've brainstormed and put it onto a system, the internet, onto an AI system, onto our team, onto whatever it is, so that it can run without us. And this one is very interesting because every little person, depending on how you do things, can be very, very specific. So for example, some people that are posting content on YouTube, they're gonna have a different structure or plan based on YouTube. Some people that post on Instagram, we're gonna have a different structure or plan based on Instagram, and things like that. So with that, we need to obviously, we brainstorm first and then we plan specifically based on that brainstorm to say, if I were to completely step away and I wanted this brainstorm piece to run completely without me, how would I have to build that? What would be like technically needed in order to build that? Would I need to, would this be something that would be ran by a human? So we got like human or systems, and understanding who is the owner of different tasks, responsibilities, and stuff like that. Like, for example, maybe systems are used to pull together the data from your YouTube channel, from your funnels, from your analytics, from your different things, and it presents it on a dashboard, gives some suggestions using AI, and then a human goes through, verifies those suggestions, and makes optimizations or decisions based on that. So things like that we need to understand how we're going to do that, which obviously starts with that brainstorm and then ultimately moves into that plan. Now, once we've brainstormed things and then we've planned it, that's where we go through and build the system. Now, with this in place, like, it really starts from building a real foundation, and that's what the brainstorm and the plan is. The brainstorm and the plan is the foundation to having a successful operating system that is in your business that runs without you. So that's why we need to do those steps first. Because if we just start building, we don't know what we're doing. It's in 15 different directions, and nothing's going to be concise and specific enough for our business. So we start and we build obviously the foundation to this. Now, for us, what we've done is a lot of stuff that we're building now, especially for clients, is using Claude Code. It's an AI system that you can go through and literally like explain your breakdown, explain the plan, talk to it, and actually go through and prompt it so that it can build your operating system for you. So this is something that we've been doing, and it's working really well because literally someone can manage their whole business from one place, have it connect to all their different systems, and get things working there. Like, yes, there's some technical setup like APIs and authorization keys and stuff like that, but a lot of times you can just talk to Claude Code, for example, and it'll tell you where to find it. It'll tell you how to actually go through and set it up and everything like that, so that you can just send it over the information and everything gets built for you. Now, here's the thing. We've gone through and, you've brainstormed how things work. You've gone through and you've planned how we want to actually get this thing to functionally work, and you've gone through and you've built it. Now, it's there, but the thing is that we need to make sure that we have your people actually use it, because number one, it's that you want to make sure that you connect all your tools so it's all in one place, and number two is making sure that your team and everyone actually uses the system. That way you didn't just build something that doesn't get used. So with that being said, that comes the next step, and this, number one, obviously comes into a leadership position. And there's two things here, because you could have a one-person business that you're running all by yourself, and it's just like you have to work on it. But if you have a team involved and you have people involved, the most important thing is that make them feel like they're a part of the journey. Make them feel like, this is not just a system that you're using for yourself, but they're using for themselves, and it's supposed to make their life easier. So it's very important, especially with like Claude Code and how easy it is to make updates. It's very important to go through and just explain to them, hey, this is what you're responsible for in this thing. So if there's anything that we can do to actually make this better and improve it so that it works better for what you need, then let us know. Essentially allowing your team to build this thing for you. And you can even pull them in on the brainstorm and planning phase if you do have a team, to make sure that you have it as good as possible from the first version, and then just make iterations from there. So that's definitely the most important piece here, is like, we want to make sure that we actually use the system that we're building, not just that we have the system built. And here's the thing. The most important thing, like I said, is this brainstorm and plan phase. So here, if you're going to go through and actually build this, you need to go through and do that brainstorm and plan. So everything in this video is extremely important, but if you want to learn how to actually go through and do that brainstorm and planning, then just click this video right here, where I'm going to show you exactly how to go through and analyze your business to see what are the different things that you would need in this AI system. And I'll see you in the next one.